This segment is called All In. What comic book are you all in on? Whether it be to flip, whether it be to make some money, whether it be to trade up for a bigger book, or one that you just are dying to have in your personal collection or do have that you're super proud to show off. We have a very special guest tonight. Matt, a.k.a. the boy who had 7, is with us here today to tell us his all in, his Silver Age, his Silver Age, his Bronze, and his Modern. Woo! It has been a long week. So, everybody, please welcome Matt. Matt, how are you?
Man, I'm doing so good. Good news stuff, man. I like the segment before this is.
Oh my gosh!
A lot of exciting news.
Yeah, if you're a comic book fan, you have to be excited at least about at least one of those things that we mentioned today, because it is just, again, we are thirsting for this content, and we're going to get some rather soon. So, anyways, thank you so much for joining us. We have you here for All In. Again, this is books. These are books that you are showing off from your personal collection, whether it be to flip, whether it be to make some money, whether it be to trade up for a bigger book, or something you are just so proud to own. So you have quite an extensive collection. We see you on Instagram. Actually, y'all should be following. By the way, the boy who had 7, his YouTube link is in the description below. Please subscribe to him now. Yes. But we also have his Instagram handle right here, which I'm going to bring up right now. There we go. It's a long one, but it's worth the follow, because this guy you've been posting 9.8s, 109.8s, haven't you? Your top 100 9.8s.
Yep, been doing that, man. I think I'm on number 15 or something. So we got 15 to 1 to go. So we're getting there, almost done.
Everybody, he has quite the collection. Y'all need to be following him. Follow him right now on YouTube and the Instagram. But you are here to show off what you are all in on. So let's start you off with your Silver Age book, shall we?
Let's do it. All right, man. So this is a book that I'm all in for because of so many reasons. This is Fantastic Four, number 48, first appearance of Galactus and the Silver Surfer. I love this book, number one, because the read is excellent. If you have not read the Galactus trilogy, you need to jump on this, okay? Such a good story. So I've got kind of 3 things that I go by when I collect books, when I get all in on them. The first thing is I've got to get a book that means something to me. When I first got into collecting, I was all over the place. I was grabbing everything that I saw, like a kid in a candy store. And I decided, once I started maturing in my own collecting, that whenever I buy a book, it's got to mean something to me. So love this story. Silver Surfer is one of my favorite characters. And so that's why I'm all in with that part. Number 2 is I've got to get it for the right price at the right time. If you get the book when the news is already broken, it's too late. So you got to get this at the right price at the right time. And that leads me to number 3. I've got 7 kids, guys. That's why I'm the boy who had 7. So there's nothing that I own that I will not sell to take care of my family. Stuff happens. May have to get rid of a book here or there to pay the bills or to do whatever we need to do. So I've got to get a book that is at the right price, so in the future I might be able to sell it. So I'm all in on this book because we haven't had Galactus or the Silver Surfer or the Fantastic Four in the MCU. I think this is a book that when that does happen, we get one of the 3, it's just going to blow up and be crazy. I tried to buy this in a 9.0 about 2 years ago before Disney got the rights to the Fox characters. And it was about $2,000. Now that book's going for $6,000 to $8,000. It just depends. So, I mean, this thing's already blowing up with just that happening. I wonder what's going to happen when these guys show up in the MCU. So when you guys break the news on the show, I'm going to get ready to flip.
I love that pick right there. Galactus is an iconic villain. He is one we are going to see more of. They did not. Let me ask your opinion. Yeah. What did you think of What did you think of Galactus on the big screen with that Fantastic Four film?
Man, come on, man.
I knew the answer.
That was so disheartening. That is not Galactus. That was just some kind of crazy storm, right? But no, I mean, I enjoyed the movies for what they were. It was exciting to see the Fantastic Four. Silver Surfer looked pretty cool. But just the story wasn't written well. The execution was really poor. And if you're going to do that to Galactus, there's no way that movie's going to be anything worth remembering,
So that being said, oops, there goes my light.
Woo,
they owe us. Am I right? They owe us Galactus on the big screen. So you better believe he's coming. So you better believe that book is going to continue to grow, and it's actually just it's gonna jump. So
you know, when I did my top 10 cosmic, I said just this last week, before I went into my top 10, and they were ranked, for not necessarily specifically for value, but for the relevance to if we're going to see these characters in the MCU. But I said, before I even went into my top 10, I said Fantastic Four 48 and 49 are not on this list because you can't even come close to those. And especially 48. And you even got your lower mid grades that have really doubled in price over like the last 18 months. So this is such a book, and to Matt's point, where it's been increasing so consistently for the last couple of years that, like you said, if there's any announcement of either Silver Surfer or Galactus, which in probably in the next 5 to 8 years, we're probably going to get both of those. And when that happens, this book is going to be one of those books that's really going to be close to your Amazing Spider-Man #1s. I don't want to put it right there with your AF-15s or Fantastic Four #1s, but this book is going to be out of reach for everyone. So when you look at right now, and for me, I'm looking at it and it's like, is it out of my range? Yes. But if you're a collector that has, say, $800 in their pocket right now, and say you could get maybe just a 2.0 for $800 right now. If I had $800 in my pocket and I could either say I could go buy maybe a few random Bronze Age keys for $100 and some random dollar books, or I would not do it, and I would put all my chips into that one basket and get this book, because this is going to be that book that, like Matt said, if something happens, we got to put the kids through college or we got to pay a bill, you're gonna see your money times. It's just it's done.
Absolutely.
On this book, I have one of my biggest regrets, because about 3 or 4 years ago, I was looking at a 9.0 white pages on that book. It was about $2,000, a little under 2,000. I was debating, because at that time I hadn't spent that type of money on a comic book, and I'm like, I can't do it. But I was like, it's gonna blow up. So then the news broke that Disney's gonna get the Fox characters. I jumped online, put it in my cart, was filling out PayPal, all the information. Right when I pressed buy, it's like, this item's no longer available. So I mean, man, for $2,000 to $6,000 in 3 years.
All right, you do have a nice looking copy though. Let's
7.5 isn't too shabby.
Exactly. So again, all right. So that's your Silver Age. Now, let's see your bronze. What do we got?
All right, man. This is probably my favorite book in my collection. This is Amazing Spider-Man #129, 9.8 white pages. So this is a beast book. This actually is my wife's book. She is a humongous Punisher fan. And I bought this for her, and this is a great one. But here's my thing on this one, okay? It's my wife's book, so it means a lot to me. She loves that character. I got this for her to be able to – you guys know I'm a 9.8 guy. You kind of heard it. I love 9.8. So to get her a 9.8 of her favorite character, it's my favorite book that I've ever purchased. This book, I got it at the right price. After the Netflix show ended, the prices started dropping pretty big time. And I got this for a great, great deal. All right. And then here's the thing. See this dude in the MCU? I personally believe this book's going to go and shoot up. So, I mean, for my second book tonight, I'm all in on this book because it just fits all those categories that I said again. I really think that this book is undervalued and underappreciated. There's a cult following on the Punisher. And I don't know, I'm hoping this book and a 9.8 can eventually get to those Hulk 181, Werewolf by Night 32 prices. But we'll see. I just can't wait to see this guy in the MCU. So,
Chris, any comments here?
I agree 100%. Yeah, that's probably my favorite book of all time. And I agree. I absolutely agree. I believe that there's such similarities to Hulk 181. just with the characters themselves between Wolverine and Punisher. I do believe that when you got somebody like Hugh Jackman to do what he did for almost 20 years, bringing that character to new audiences, new generations of audiences, that really helped Hulk 181 continue to increase to that. I call it that bronze. They're the Bronze Age Amazing Fantasy 15s, the Fantastic Four #1s.
Yeah.
So I do believe that book is having that same potential as in that same route. I do want to see John Bernthal return in the MCU and play that character for 10 plus years, man.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Woo.
They can do it, guys. They can absolutely do it. And you, Matt, you said it. He has a cult following.
Yep.
He had a cult following before the Netflix show, before he was in Daredevil, and then had his 2 seasons on Netflix. So, Feige is looking at this character, trying to figure out a way to incorporate him into the Disney. We all know that Disney doesn't like to get too graphic, but you have Hulu, right? You got Hulu as an outlet now to be able to do those things. So, again, I agree 100% with what you guys both said. This book is still going to be on the up and up. And I even agree with you, Matt, that it is undervalued at this point, too, and iconic. And your wife is very lucky to have that in a 9.8.
Thanks, 9.8, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so now we're going to move on to the final book. This one, guys, I'm excited for because I find this one very interesting. This is Matt's modern day book. Here we go.
Yep. Here it is, guys. Sentry #1. Man, okay. You have not read this story, and a lot of people haven't. For some reason, Sentry came out. He's a newer character. Was this 2005? 2000. Year 2000. A lot of people have skipped this story, but this is in my top 5 favorite comic reads of all time. The story is told in such a way that it reveals things a little bit at a time. The character himself is amazing. He has an internal struggle that is one of the best internal struggles in comic books. And the reason I really love this book so much, and I think I chose it tonight because I'm all in with it, is because if they were to do this story in the movies, in the MCU, it could change everything. And so, I mean, if you guys have read the story, you may know what I'm talking about. If you haven't read the story, get on it and then watch this segment back again. But this character, I think, is one of those small characters nobody really cares about. It's an inexpensive book. You can get this for about $250 right now in a 9.8. But if he ever shows up in the MCU, people are going to fall more in love with this character, and he's going to get a humongous, humongous following. And so, I mean, New Avengers, Bendis with the Illuminati and all that, this guy, what he does to Carnage is absolutely incredible. The story is amazing. So I say get on this book. It's got tons and tons of potential. Yeah. So that was my modern all-in book for tonight.
That book is excellent. Like, that book is everything you said. I cannot emphasize to the audience anymore. Like, listen to Matt. The story it'll blow your mind because he's an iconic character within the Marvel universe. You may not know of him, but reading that, it's the way they told the story, not only the psychological kind of approach they took to it, but the way it's just, I thought it was brilliant. I read it a year ago for the first time. I was like, I'll check this one out on Marvel Unlimited. I've seen Sentry around here and there. You read that book and you're hooked. I promise you all. I promise you that. Give it a try. Let us know what you think. Let Matt know what you think. That's a fantastic book, and I can't express enough what you said. I'm totally on board with that.
The character, his powers are pretty insane. I mean, he takes a super soldier serum that's been mixed with a bunch of stuff from Weapon X and a whole bunch of other programs, and it's like 1,000,000 times stronger than Captain America's super serum. Then, as he's doing that, this void opens in the cosmos, and this being comes into him. I mean, come on, guys! He moves a second in the future. There's just all kinds of crazy stuff.
We don't want to give too much away because it's literally mind-blowing. Sentry #1, guys. Check that book out. Matt, thank you so much for sharing these books with us. You guys have to follow. You have to follow Matt, the boy who had 7, talks comic books. Is his Instagram. His YouTube link is in the description below. Y'all need to click on that and subscribe.